The magical Facebook land. All right. Well, what's up, Warriors? Welcome back to Warrior Wisdom. And today I want to share with you. Yesterday, we were talking all about God-sized goals. We were talking about expanding your vision. We were talking about speaking into what you imagine to happen and the power of that. And we talked about our story about buying our dream home. Well, today I want to give you a follow-up story that's very recent. Literally, I just realized it today that I know will encourage you in your business and in your life. And I want to talk to you about how in the last 6 months, personally, me and my wife have added an extra six-figure income a year on top of what we were already doing within our business. I'm going to show you what we did and how you can do it. Disclaimers, you got to work hard, disclaimers, like blah, blah, blah. But I want to talk about some principles on what's happening. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, put a me in the comments below. And I hope you can pick up some of these details. So flashback, right now it's May 21st. November time of 2023, we were in a place in our business, in our life, when we were ready for a breakthrough. Have you ever been in that place before? You're like, something needs to click yesterday because we got some serious goals. And we decided to coin something. We decided to lean in and we said, this next year is going to be a year of miracles. This next year is going to be a year where we're going to lean into God-sized goals, huge things that are like out of our comprehension, but we're going to practice these principles of success and say, hey, it worked before, but let's do it again. Let's see what else we can do on this. And what happened was I was in corporate in Utah. We're out there for what's called the Partners Council meeting, 2 days of meeting with top leaders. We're around like multi-seven-figure earners, legends. Me and my wife are like the little fish in that pond. By the way, here's a good side note for you. You always want to be the smallest fish in the big pond, by the way. If you ever feel like you're a hot shot, if you ever feel like you're all that in a bag of chips, get into a different pond, all right? We always need to surround ourselves around people better than us. End of the second day, we had made these declarations. We didn't know how things were going to happen, but I get a message that forever changed your life. I looked on my Instagram. I was looking through my stories. You never know your next person. You're one person away from a major breakthrough. I'm looking through my stories. I see a name I've never seen on my Instagram stories. I do some Instagram stalking. You know how we're professionals now at social media stalking. And I'm like, I think this person might have some experience in network marketing. Hey, I've done this 1,000 times before. And many times it did not lead into anything, but I decided to do the same obedient, faithful action as before. And I opened up a direct message. And that message changed everything. Within a month, we were out within a couple of weeks, we met up with who now are amazing friends, mentors, partners, and everything, Cindy McKnight and Lindsay Yoakum. And we, in 2 days' time, flew out to Puerto Rico to meet with John and Darren, the owners of this company. And that day, they brought a game plan. They brought a system. They brought a machine. They brought all different types of leadership together. And they gave a plan and they said, we figured out a way where if you follow this simple thing, then you too can make an extra six figures in 6 months. Now, who here, does that sound like something interesting? Put a 6 in the chat if you're like, man, that's cool, right? That's cool. And the reality is it's possible. But the more important question is it possible for me? Because 6 months later, literally, it's like 6 months, right? And we're just running, right? And we followed everything to the T. And this is not an income claim, but I'm just telling my experience, everyone is different. You got to work hard. We obviously are super committed. Everyone's different circumstances, but I literally calculated it, and month to month, annualized, we have made an extra six-figure income in our business compared to 6 months ago. And I'm like, holy moly, this thing actually worked. Literally today, the reason I picked it up is we followed this plan called 10 and 2. We did it 6 months in a row. We help people do it, and literally to the T, annualize an extra six-figure income. And I was thinking about this because on your journey towards success, what is it that helps some people get some of their success done versus those that maybe fall short? And I've had many, by the way, that I've fallen short on. And I believe that success, there's some principles in it, right? The systems are the same. In our business, we have the same product, don't we? In our business, we have the same marketing tools. Like everything else is the same. The only thing that's different is ourselves and what we allow ourselves to say to ourselves. And this was the big thing, I believe, was a key difference, was in that ideation phase to manifestation is when we heard that there was a plan, what we decided to do was this. We suspended disbelief and we convinced ourselves that 6 figures in 6 months was absolutely possible. I want to submit this question to you. With whatever goal that you want, maybe it's 6 figures in 6 months. Maybe it's helping your family. Maybe it's helping your children, whatever it is that you want, whatever your God-sized goal is, my question to you is this, and you can answer it to yourself. Do you believe, without a doubt, that it's going to happen? Do you believe? Now, it's easy to say it, right? It's catchy to say 6 figures in 6 months. It sounds sexy, right? It's sexy to say, I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to do these things. But there's a difference in what we say versus what we believe. Who here knows that you tend to get not what you say, you tend to get what you believe? And that's the big shift right there. And there's like a childlike faith in it that's going to happen, because the reality is, I don't know if it was going to happen. It was a new plan. The strategies change. The tips change. I literally felt like I was a brand new person in this business. And I chose that they would coach me. And I said, hey, if you got a plan, I'm just going to believe that it's possible. And I'm going to do everything to a T. And I'm going to believe it until I prove it wrong. One thing that I'd submit to you is this is what's brought me into a lot of issues in the past, is I judge before I do. I say this won't work because of this. Well, they're different than me. Well, they didn't grow up the way that I did. Well, look at their social media versus me. Well, look at their background versus me. The reality is none of our results are circumstantial. You have the ability and the power that every single one of us have been gifted, which is the power to create in your mind, the power of your imagination, the God-given ability to be able to take something from spirit into physical. Put me in the comments if this is resonating at all. It doesn't matter if you're from Yale or jail. It doesn't matter if you're a recluse or an extrovert. It doesn't matter if you've been involved in business for 10 years or 10 days. If you believe and you follow the principles, as much as the gravity is a law, then these laws will work for you. Now, it's easier said than done at first, because many times we're not practicing these things. And I'll also submit to you this as well, too. I've had many times in the past that I've said I want to make a lot more money, and I didn't as well. But you either win or you learn. And you're always going to fail forward. And that's truly what I believe was a big difference. So I want you to think to yourself today and check your heart. It doesn't matter what matters, it's you and your goal, right? It's that's what you're here for. Are you on track with what you want? Are you on that wavelength to get what you want? How do you know if you're on the right track or not? Here's a little check. What do we catch ourselves saying to ourselves with your goal? You know, when you're by yourself in the dark, you know, when times don't look good. How are those times, right? It's nice if we look good on social media. It's great if we look good in front of the team. But what really matters is when you're just by yourself. And you're like, when things look dark, do you still believe that the miracle is going to happen? That's the challenge that I have for you today. So how do we make an extra 6 figures in 6 months? Once again, disclaimers, all different types of things, many different factors. But the one thing that I know that I'm in control of, and you are in control of as well too, is how we think and how we act. Remember, we made a decision before this even happened that this would be a year of miracles. We made a decision before that we would be 10xing our income. By the way, we're not done yet, right? This year, there's a lot more. By the way, we have there's some major goals. But let's continue to press in. I want to challenge you with whatever your goal is, whether it's the goal this week to make your highest weekly paycheck, or it's your goal this next quarter, or it's this goal this year. Can we tune it up to the next level? Because if you do follow these things, I will promise you, it's principle, it's law. You're going to see how your goals and your results are going to absolutely change. Joanne Hewitt, I got to end with this story. This is so cool. Joanne was on yesterday and we're chatting about these principles. Joanne let me know she stood in faith and she said, I am claiming that I'm wrapping up my promotion. I'm wrapping up 10 and 2. She was a partner away. And as of today, literally as we're doing this live, 24 hours later, she said, as we're on this call, her second partner just literally ordered. Come on, is that coincidence or is that law, guys? What do you think? Put a 1 in the comments if you think that's by law. Put a 2 if you think, nah, there's just coincidence, right? You might not believe it yet, but keep on hanging around. And I bet it will click eventually. And once it does, everything changes for you. All right, everyone. Other than that, I hope this was encouraging. Share this with somebody. Tag someone that needs this. Consider subscribing and everything as well, too. Other than that, we'll see you soon. Let's go.